Hey everyone, hope that you're doing amazing. Ooh, let me fix the light. Okay, hope that you guys are doing amazing. All right, happy Friday. All right, I want to talk about a really important, informative topic today. Hope that everybody's doing great and had a great week. Okay, so today I want to talk about the first steps of healing reproductive health conditions. Okay, so this is from a holistic perspective. So whether you have fibroids, endometriosis, PCOS, blocked tubes, whatever reproductive health issue that you have, you're going to be able to get a lot of information from this live. Okay, this applies to any woman that's dealing with, even if it's heavy bleeding, you know, any type of womb health condition. Okay, because I know that there's so much confusion out there about what to do when you are when you've first been diagnosed with a reproductive health issue. Okay, and I know that every day more and more women are being diagnosed with things like, you know, endometriosis, fibroids, PCOS. And you may have been dealing with these symptoms for years before being diagnosed. So hopefully this can help you navigate, you know, when you're dealing with these conditions, to help you navigate the healing process, especially if you want to explore more the holistic side of healing, okay? Because I know that when when you explore things from, you know, let's be honest, Western medicine side, it can be a little confusing, and we want to do more than just manage our symptoms. We actually want to heal them, okay? So hope that everybody's doing amazing. If you're in hashtag live and hi, hope that you're doing great. And also put in the comment section where you're watching from, if you don't mind. And anybody that's watching this, if you're on the replay, feel free to share this live too, because again, like I said, this can help somebody, again, that's just been diagnosed with fibroids, that's just been diagnosed with PCOS, endometriosis. This can really help somebody navigate more, you know, their condition, okay? So when you first discover that you had fibroids, I remember the first time I discovered I had fibroids and found out, or you first discovered you have PCOS, right? It can be very overwhelming because there's just so much information, and you may not even know like where to start, what to do. You know, how do I combat this condition? Like, what do I do? How do I, you know, especially if it's a condition that like PCOS or endometriosis that they said that you can never get rid of, which is not true, but especially if it's that type of condition. Okay, so you know, if you want to eventually eliminate your reproductive health condition, if you want to eliminate it, if you want to, you know, actually restore balance in your body, this is going to be the live for you. And I'm going to give you steps, you know, the first steps that you need to take when you're dealing with the reproductive health condition. Okay, and if you want to explore the holistic side of healing. All right, so hopefully I didn't confuse you guys. So these are going to be the first steps that you want to take. Okay, so and when we're talking about completely healing these conditions, of course, in my opinion, especially if you're talking about completely eliminating fibroids, completely getting rid of, you know, PCOS and restoring balance back into the body, in my opinion, I feel like, you know, you do need more so personalized guidance, but these are going to be helpful for everyone, especially even if you've had these conditions for a while and maybe they really just started getting worse. This is still going to be helpful for you, okay? So if you're watching me, hi and welcome. A little introduction about me. My name is Sasha. Okay, I'm a holistic women wellness specialist, and what I do is I help women who are going through reproductive health issues. I help them engage in everyday healthy habits in order to heal naturally. Okay, I help them utilize holistic methods so they don't have to rely so much on Western medicine. They don't have to rely so much on the medical system that, again, has them in a rabbit hole of surgeries and birth control. So I teach them how they can utilize their everyday habits in order to heal their bodies, okay? So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do, if you've been diagnosed with fibroids, if you've been diagnosed with PCOS, if you've, you know, been diagnosed with endometriosis, the first thing you want to do is educate yourself, okay? This is really important because a lot of women are navigating these conditions and they don't even know why they got fibroids and where it came from and why it developed in their body. I see this a lot, and they just like, well, I just want to do the surgery to get rid of it without even knowing how it developed. And this is actually, not knowing these things is actually to your own detriment, because if you don't understand why something developed in your body, how can you begin to, you know, heal it? How can you know a proper solution for something if you don't know why it developed in your body? Okay. So I don't know if you guys can hear me or see me. Put on one in the chat if you can hear me or see me, but I'm not sure if I'm not seeing the comments or what's going on. But anyway, if you don't understand what's going on in your body, if you don't, then how can you properly think of a correct solution for it? You know, to me, it's kind of at your own detriment not to really try and dive deep to understand what's going on in your body, right? Why did my body develop PCOS? Why did my body develop, fibroids? No, it's not just because they run in your family, because here's the thing. That's a very surface level answer, because just because something runs in your family does not mean you in particular have to develop that issue, right? So you want to find out, why did I develop these health issues? Why did I develop fibroids? That was something I had to ask myself. Like, what habits was I engaging in that, drove me to develop these fibroids, okay? So it's really important for you to understand that. And I know a lot of times people are asking their doctors this and they're not giving them a clear answer. So I say those, when it comes to those instances, you may need to get a new doctor, okay? So you may need to get a second opinion, okay? You want to be clear. And even, if you have to read books, if you have to dive deep and do research yourself, you want to be clear on why I developed these health issues. You don't want to not understand why because what tends to happen with a lot of women is they continuously, get fibroids again and again after having surgery, again and again and again, because they don't understand in the first place why their body developed it. The same thing with the endometriosis surgery. There's some people that's gotten 5 of those, 6 of those, the same surgeries, removing the tissue, and still, still have gotten those over and over again. Same thing with ovarian cysts, okay? So you don't want that to be you. You want to understand and deeply know why your body developed a certain thing. You want to know the signs and symptoms your body's showing you before it fully develops into a health issue, okay? So I don't know why I'm not seeing the comments. Are you guys, let me know if you guys, put a 1 in the chat if you're watching. I want to make sure I'm seeing the comments in case anybody has a question. I want to make sure I get to them. So I might have to pull this up on my, laptop. Okay. Oh, okay. There's no questions. Okay, never mind. All right, but anyway, so educate yourself. Educate yourself fully on what's going on in your body, why your body developed this condition. You need to know. Like, for example, ladies that have fibroids or even PCOS, I have years worth of content, in videos and posts telling you guys, educating you guys on fibroids, how it came in the body. When when you subscribe to my email list, I give you there's a video called estrogen dominance, right? You get a free video that's going to give you more information on why your body developed these reproductive health issues, okay? So you have to really care about this information. It's not just you focusing on only the fibroid and it getting out. I see that a lot, and that's actually to your own detriment, right? Again, we're not thinking about long-term health. We're just thinking about right now and what can I do to get rid of it right now? No, right? You want to learn how this can impact, what the causes of this issue, how it can impact my health, why it developed in my body, what it can lead to going, further, down the line. You don't want to be lost. You don't want to be in the dark about why this developed. And you don't want to just look at the body as in a linear form. You don't want to look at the body like, as linear. You want to actually look at the body as it's connected. Everything is connected in the body. So hopefully that makes sense, right? For example, fibroids, PCOS, endometriosis, estrogen dominance. This is what this comes from. There's a hormonal imbalance, right? So it's really important for you to understand that and why your body, again, why your hormones became out of whack, what was going on in your life. What habits were you actually participating in to make this, become a reality? All right. So that's number 1. Educate yourself. If you have to read books, do research, like dig deep and actually get the information, right? So, and if you have fibroids and you don't understand how it became in the body, I have, like I said, when you subscribe to my email list, I have a video, 30-minute training explaining in full detail of what's going on in the body and why you develop fibroids and the hormonal imbalance called estrogen dominance. Okay, so if you have not checked that out, you want to subscribe to my email and get that training. The link is in my bio to subscribe. So another thing I want to talk about is nurturing your body. When you find out that you've been diagnosed with fibroids, adenomyosis, PCOS, it's time to really start nurturing your body. Because here's the thing, this means that you haven't been nurturing your body. Whenever you develop these reproductive health issues, that's your body telling you that you've been neglecting your body. Okay, you've been engaging in very unhealthy habits and toxic habits. You haven't been paying attention and taking care of yourself. So this is the time to start doing it. This is the red flag that you need to start doing it, okay? So when I talk about taking care of yourself, I mean like prioritizing, for example, self-care, prioritizing really taking care of your body, feeding it nutrient-rich foods, okay? If we cannot, I always say this, we cannot sit here and say that we love ourselves when we're feeding ourselves very toxic foods, very unhealthy foods all the time, right? So start actually nourishing your body, hydrating your body, okay? And not just, like I said, just, eating all the stuff that's actually at your own body's detriment, okay? So we got to start taking care of ourselves whenever we develop these reproductive health issues. We really should before to prevent them, but I'm saying I want to talk in a sense of if you've already developed them, right? So if you have fibroids, PCOS, a hormonal imbalance, heavy bleeding, it's time to start taking care of my body. It's time to start eating anti-inflammatory foods, gut-friendly foods, foods that are going to help my body detoxify, and not foods that are going to clog your system up, not foods that are going to worsen, the inflammation already going on in my body, okay? Foods that are going to be more so hydrating than dehydrating. Start working out, things like yoga. Start doing more mindful techniques, whether that's yoga, whether that's, Pilates or, meditation, because to calm the body down. More than likely, like I said, a lot of women are under a lot of stress, and that contributes to hormonal imbalance. So we have to look at the habits that we're engaging in. Are we, getting enough sleep? These are the things you want to start looking at. Like, you got to start taking care of yourself and nurturing your body, okay? Just like we take care of everything else. We take care of, our cars. We take care of our homes. We take care of everything else but our own body, where we have to live for the rest of our lives, like while we're on this earth, right? So it's time to actually start treating your temple, respecting your temple, and nourishing your temple, okay? On a spiritual level, but also a physical level as well, okay? Hopefully that makes sense, okay? So also, I want to talk about if you have fibroids, if you've developed endometriosis, PCOS, heavy bleeding, even like really heavy bleeding, then there's a hormonal imbalance going on in the body, right? So this means when you're dealing with hormonal imbalance, this is what develops, this is what makes fibroids and PCOS and things like that, this develop in the body. When your estrogen levels are much higher than your progesterone levels when they're off balance, right? And that has a ripple effect in the body. So you have to be really careful with that. So you have to understand that, look, I got to restore this balance back into my body because the balance has been disrupted. So I have to do the work to restore balance in my body and, on a physical and spiritual level as well. So, you want to support your body, support your body's ways of restoring that balance, right? So we have to start looking at our habits. You have your hormones being in balance is extremely important. And how you know that you're on the right track is by your menstrual cycle. That's a great way to know, look, I'm on the right track to healing my body, to healing my hormones, to improving my health. Because if my hormones are in disarray, that means your entire health is going to be in disarray. You're going to leave your body susceptible to, contract diseases, autoimmune disorders, diseases, viruses, you name it, right? Once your hormones are out of whack, this impacts you on various levels, okay? So you want to understand that. And what can you do to restore that balance back into your body, right? Again, looking at some of our habits, our everyday habits. Like when you start to actually look at your everyday habits, you'll see that a lot of your habits are extremely toxic, and they're going to add on to, your fibroids, your fibroid growth. They're going to, grow your fibroids and make your endometriosis worse and make your symptoms worse because, again, we're engaging in these habits on a daily basis. So if your menstrual cycle is not improving, if it's actually getting worse, then we know that there's things that we're doing wrong. We're not paying attention to our body. We're not paying attention to ourselves. Okay. And this is, again, a huge issue, especially with women, right? For example, I want to say a little example. The other day I posted something about apple cider vinegar, and people lost their minds, right? People still commented on that today. Oh my gosh. I was talking mostly with women who are dealing with reproductive health issues and health issues. If you are dealing with reproductive health issues, you should not be taking anything that's going to dehydrate your body. You should not be taking anything that's going to dehydrate your body, okay? Because you're already dealing with dehydration on a cellular level, you should not be taking anything that's going to pull, any type of minerals and fluids from your organs, right? Because we're already having issues with our organs, if we have these reproductive health issues. That's what's going on in your body. So we should be focused on hydrating the body, not things that are going to take fluid away from the body, like apple cider vinegar or like, coffee, caffeine. So the focus has to be, we have to recenter ourselves, right? And we have to really, like I said, look at health more so on a long-term basis and not just quickly, what can I do now to feel better? Okay. So I also want to talk about stress, which is a huge thing. Stress is really big, especially, I mean, in all communities, especially in the Black community, but in all communities, right? Stress is a huge thing. And you know, I say, you know, just now in particular, you know, especially with women are, you know, working, they're having to do 2 jobs, be a provider and take care of children, you know, it's just a lot, right? A lot of women are stressed out. So you have chronic stress, you being stressed out on a constant basis, you know, your body being in fight or flight mode, this is going to greatly impact your health. Nothing grows fibroids more than stress. I'm gonna be honest with you. Nothing makes endometriosis worse more than stress, okay? Nothing makes those periods heavy and clot and you know, full with clots more than stress. More than stress. Nothing makes your cramping worse more than stress. Stress just, it kills your hormones, right? So this is where we have to really take a seat and really think about, okay, what exactly in our lives is giving us stress, and seeing how we can start to modify some things and make some changes, right? And again, it comes with prioritizing yourself, because if you're prioritizing, you know, life happens, right? Stress happens, but if we're really prioritizing ourselves, if we're really taking care of our body, more than likely, like, you know, we're not going to engage in habits that stress us out on a constant, you know, on a constant basis. So I don't know if it could be your job that's stressing you out. You may need to find another job. You may need to maybe, you know, take a little break or vacation. You may need to, I don't know, you know, talk to your boss and see whether you can, you know, modify some things, right? So no job and nothing is worth your health, right? Because again, it just gets worse and worse and worse as you continue on the trajectory of just allowing your body to constantly be in the stress mode. So also doing things too to you know, help you decompress, you know, help you whether it's, you know, more, you know, mindful activities, meditation, exercising. What are things that help you deal with your stress? And a lot of women get bogged up in everyday life, and they forget about their selves. They forget about, you know, the fact that you being in a constant level of stress is not healthy. Okay, people think that it's part of life because maybe they saw their parents, their mother dealing with that, so they think it's okay. Well, that's normal. It's not, and you have to do the work to really figure out again, how can you deal with this, you know, in a better way that it's not affecting your health. Because here's the thing. When your stress levels are up, guess what? That cortisol also, your cortisol is going to shoot up, and this is going to impact your progesterone levels, which is going to decrease, you know, significantly, right? And once that progesterone decreases, it's harder to get pregnant, right? Our periods start, you know, acting crazy. Again, this leaves room for fibroids to start to develop, polyps to start to develop, right? Our hormones to be out of whack. This is how people get sometimes PCOS, things like that, right? So we don't want to engage in habits and hobbies and things like that. That's gonna, well, not hobbies, but we don't want to engage in habits, right? We don't want to engage in things that are gonna constantly stress us out. Could be a person that's stressing you out. It could be a family member. It could be, you know, a significant other. You have to somehow not normalize that and deal with that, right? Because again, it's doing much more harm in your body than you can ever imagine. Stress impacts your body on various levels. I'm talking about from your fertility, your reproduction, okay, your immune system, okay, and we have something that they say is coming back that was here a couple years ago, and again, you know, this is how stress can really, you know, destroy the immune system, right? Can really significantly lower the immune system. So you need to get your stress in order, get your stress levels in order. And when women work with me, that's what we work on. We especially if they're dealing with high levels of stress, we gotta work on that, because guess what? That's gonna stop you from healing. That's gonna stop you, because you can be doing everything right. If your stress levels are high, those hormones are not going to be come back in balance. They're just not, right? Because you're getting in your body's way of healing. Okay, so let's talk about another thing. I want to talk about is finding a creative outlet. And again, this is something that helps with stress as well. But this is something that a lot of women have ran away from, in a sense. Not really ran away from, but this is what something a lot of women have neglected, right? Creative outlets, hobbies, you know, things such as that. Everybody's just all about work and making money, and we forget that there's life outside of work and kids and responsibilities and bills, right? There's life outside of that. So what I'm talking about is more so creative, creative outlets. Like a lot of us, we remember to do things like go to brunch with our friends and, party, whatever, right? But people forget to actually do the things that they used to love. Like, for example, it could be writing, it could be reading, it could be singing, it could be, playing the piano, sewing, like these creative outlets that you enjoy doing maybe when you was a teenager, maybe when you were a child, but that really help you with your emotions, that help you with your stress levels, your anxiety levels. Creative outlets, studies show that they help women especially with their stress, their anxiety, their depression. They significantly lower them, right? And when you are involving yourself in creative outlets, then what tends to happen, you're able to process your emotions a lot better, okay, than the average person. You're able to also be present, which is something that a lot of people are just not present right now. Their mind is either in the past or it's in the future, 24/7. How many people are just present and just in the present moment? And let me tell you something, when you are in the present moment, you age a lot slower. Okay, people that worry too much, that's too worried about the future that hasn't even come yet, and too worried about the past, they age faster. Okay, that should be enough for you to want to involve yourself in activities where you're more present more often. Okay, if that makes sense. So it's really important for you to start engaging in creative outlets. And you're probably like, well, what does that have to do with healing? That has a lot to do with healing. Trust me. Okay, because again, it heals. Again, when we're talking about healing, we're also talking about the spirit, healing you spiritually, healing you emotionally, mentally. Everything is connected, right? So finding a creative outlet is extremely, extremely important, okay? Extremely, extremely important. Now I want to talk about the last thing that is going to make a huge impact on your healing journey for ladies that are dealing with fibroids, for ladies that are dealing with, endometriosis, adenomyosis. Okay, well, I work with all ladies that are dealing with any type of issues with the womb and the hormones. When you talk about seeking support, okay? And when I say seeking support, a community is great, but you also want to seek support with somebody that's knowledgeable in healing, right? Now, we know that, I know people have doctors and all that stuff, right? But if we're wanting to heal more so on a holistic level, a holistic doctor is nice that's actually skilled in helping women, get rid of their fibroids, not just manage them, actually, help them shrink and eliminate their fibroids, or it could be, holistic women wellness specialists, such as myself. But even if it's not me, somebody that's skilled with and has reviews and has results in helping women get rid of these health issues. Because guess what? You don't have to live the rest of your life with PCOS or endometriosis or fibroids. You don't have to live 10 years, living with these conditions, right? People are healing these every day. So with making, of course, massive changes in their lives, but they're healing them every day. So for us, I feel like when it comes to our reproductive health, we kind of put that at the back burner and wait for it to get really bad before we actually do something. And we don't want to do that because, again, as we continuously, go on and not do anything about them, they get worse, unfortunately, especially if you're engaging in habits that are going to continue to make them grow. That's going to continue to trigger them, right? It makes the situation worse. We know that fibroids grow pretty fast. Endometriosis, it can, spread to other organs. Ovarian cysts can get worse and worse and worse and, accumulate. We don't want that to happen. So really getting in front of it and actually getting a knowledgeable person that's skilled in this and that can help you get rid of this naturally, help you with your habits, help you with your hormonal health is more than worth it. I feel like when it comes to solutions, if we have a problem, for the most part, people always want to pay to get it solved. If you have a problem that's really, important enough in your life, we pay to get it solved. For example, if we have an issue with our car and it's not running, it's not running the way it's supposed to, we will pay to get it fixed, whether it's alternator, the engine, whatever, right? We will find the money to pay to get it fixed. But when it comes to our reproductive health, I see a lot of us are dragging our feet, and you don't want to do that because here's the thing. When your womb is not healthy, that impacts not just your physical health, also it impacts you in so many ways. It disrupts your quality of life. It impacts, your sex life, for ladies that are married and things, your dating life, perhaps it affects you emotionally. Because I know when I was going through fibroids, it affected me on many different levels, right? So it wasn't just a physical thing. And also too, that when your womb is not, in order, this is going to affect you on a spiritual level. You're hormonally not going to be in order as well. You are spiritually you're going to be out of order as well. Our wombs as women are very important, okay? And they're a reflection of what's going on in our lives, what's going on in your body, what's going on with our hormones, with our organs. They're a reflection. So your menstrual cycle every month is letting you know what's going on in your body. And if you're dealing with heavy, chaotic menstrual cycles, is letting you know, hey, we are dealing with a boatload of toxins, right? So don't continue to ignore what your body is telling you, okay? Don't continue to ignore that. So for women that are struggling with fibroids, for PCOS, for adenomyosis, or any type of womb health issues, infertility as well, okay? I do have a program, amazing program, highly successful program called the Detoxify Your Womb program, where I help you for 3 months, okay? I help you on a journey for 3 months to completely healing your reproductive health issues, okay? Not just managing them, not just making you feel better. No, I help you with healing and also sustaining, lifetime womb health sustainability, like sustaining good womb health. And the reason why that's so important is because a lot of us are passing down fibroids to our children, passing down this bad womb health to our, our daughters and to others in our family. And we don't want to do that, right? If we have the knowledge and we've healed ourselves, then we can also teach our daughters. We don't have to have our daughters going through painful periods and chaotic, heavy periods, right? We can also get in front of that and help them navigate that, and then so they can do that for their daughters. So it's really important for you to want to heal yourself. And for ladies, I know ladies that are kind of attached to the Western medicine side of things. I will say this, right? If you've been, trying something that has not really helped you long term for years and years and years, why would you continue to, why won't you explore other options, right? And I know that the holistic healing is scary for a lot of people that's so used to science and, that's so used to, what the doctor says and this and that. But if you have been trying something for years and years and years and you have not seen relief, you've only gotten worse, you've got more symptoms, you've gotten, it's time to try something new, okay? It's time to try something new, okay? And even if it's just you tried for 6 months, if it doesn't help, then hey, but you can't say I tried the natural way and you don't know what you're doing, right? You have to actually have for most people, they have to have somebody to help them. Let's be honest, they have to have help. Because I see a lot of women too saying, I've tried the natural way and it didn't help. But then I asked more questions, and it's because they didn't really know what they were doing. Okay, they tried it on their own, right? They didn't have a professional or nothing helping them. Okay, so and I just want to share also to my client. I'm going to post about this later as well. My client, she went through before in the past a lot of things that a lot of women go through, which is, pretty much hemorrhaging on their cycle and also bleeding for a prolonged number of days. I mean, she was bleeding for 21 days out of a month. And she went through this for so long. I don't know how she went through this for me. Women just go through so much in silence. But a lot of women, too, are going through long periods of bleeding. So she went through that, and she joined the Detoxify Your Womb program literally 2 weeks ago. And when she joined, she was going through a bleeding episode. And so bad, the same night, I had to go to the hospital, the little emergency room. That's how bad she was bleeding. And they gave her all types of pills and all these stuff. And I told her, look, we're not taking none of that. We're not taking none of those pills. We're going to do this naturally. Literally within a few days, I was able to help her stop, first slow down the bleeding, where it wasn't, coming out so heavy. And then completely we stopped the bleeding. So now I'm helping her reset her cycle. And this is just a few days ago. Literally, she's only been in the program for 2 weeks. She's like, I feel amazing. I feel so good. I haven't felt this good in a long time. I'm, you don't understand what I've been going through, and I'm like, just thinking about how many women are going through issues such as that, right? And she doesn't even have fibroids. She just has a cyst, right? So imagine the number of women going through hell every single day or, several days out of a month, due to these reproductive health issues, okay? And, she was able to really take a chance and invest in the program and see she's already, getting the benefits. And of course, we're going to do a lot more healing work within these next few months, but I'm so happy for her for trusting me, to actually to actually really listen to me and say, look, we're going to stop the medications and we're going to do this the natural way. So yes, okay. So if you're interested in the Detoxify Your Womb program, make sure you click the link in my caption and sign up. We would love to have you. It's an amazing community of women and women that are dedicated to healing their wombs, healing their bodies, and living amazing, fulfilling, healthy lives, okay? So we would love to have you join us. You can also click the link in my bio to join my email list. If you're not a part of my email list, join my email list, okay? Where I send out, you know, amazing things to help you guys on your journey, on your womb healing journey, and also you'll get a training once you join the email list, okay? So that's pretty much it. I hope this was helpful in the first steps when you've been diagnosed with fibroids, endometriosis, you know, I hope this was helpful as far as the first steps. Instead of just going to, surgery. No, let's back up here and start, like I said, making some changes in our lives, okay? All right. Love you, ladies. If you have any questions, if you're watching the replay, if you have any questions, please drop your question in the chat. I'll come back to answer it. And that's pretty much it. All right. Love you guys. Bye.